Okay guys, here we go. The moment you've all been waiting for. The top 10 shootout for EvolutionOz.net Evo Nationals, proudly presented by Motorsport Tyres Victoria. And the first car out on the circuit will be car number 13. And that of course is driven by Peter Della Vedova, the Mitsubishi Evo 6, circulating through turns 4 and moving up to 5 now, trying to get as much temperature into the tyres as he possibly can. So hopefully he gets those up to temperature, and then we'll see him fly around the 3-kilometre circuit here at Winton Raceway. So down the back straight into turns 11 and 12, and he's got to make sure he gets a good run through turns 1 and 2, because then he'll come past us here on the front straight. Marshal Charlie there with the green flag ready to wave, and he'll go on the fly up. So here he comes through turns 1 and 2. He gets a nice run, runs nice and wide, and the flag goes green. First of our top 10 shootout runners here for the Evo Nationals, EvolutionOz.net, through turn 1. Up on the brakes through turn 2. He's trying to be as smooth as he possibly can. Peter Della Vedova runs nice and wide over to the ripple strip. Through the turn number 5, the sweeper, double apex corner. You've got to be careful on the second apex there, because there is a big bump, and if you hit that, you can find yourself in the dirt very, very quickly. Through the first part of the cleavage section, nice and smooth he goes. Trying to get on the power as early as he possibly can. Very well presented machine as well. I think the kit and everything looks quite good on it. It's a lovely colour scheme. Down the back straight, Shannon's Insurance straight, and he'll come into BM corner, also known as turn number 10 here at Winton Raceway. So far so good, although a little bit slow with the gear change there. Of course, you got to remember that these cars have been running for the last 2 days, so reliability, one of the most important things, but so far so good for Peter Della Vedova. Down the front straight, you'll come into the last 2 corners, which are also turns 1 and 2 when we use the start-finish line at the main pits. Here he comes. He's got to beat a 1:33.0 to go quicker than his previous time through the last corner, flat out down the straight, and the time 1:35.9, so he's 3 seconds slower than his personal best is Peter Della Vedova. But of course we're going to have a special prize, special trophy for the winner of the top 10 shootout here this weekend. The next car out on the circuit is car number 9. And car number 9, of course, driven by Steve Thompson, just scraping into the top 10. And Steve Thompson's time that he performed was a 1:33.5. So we wait for Steve Thompson to come across the start-finish line. The ex-Michael Hisco Mitsubishi Evo 9. This car was very, very quick at Wakefield Park Raceway in previous years. Here he comes through the last couple of corners. He'll come onto the main straight now. Across the line, the start his flying lap is Steve Thompson. Thompson now gets a great run out of turn 2 into turn 3. The sweeper early on the brakes there. Double apex may have ran a little bit wide there, could have picked up some marbles. Now through turns 4 and 5, hard on the brakes. One of the most technical sections in Australian motorsport is the cleavage section. Past the tree, the gum tree as it's known, and he'll make his way down Shannon's Insurance straight. Nice and smooth so far. That's exactly what you want to do, because of course we know that the most spectacular driver isn't necessarily the fastest. You want to drive as smooth as you possibly can. Now we go through turn 8, and towards turn number 9. And he'll disappear for a second as he goes through turn number 10 and makes his way onto the main straight. Nice and smooth. Steve Thompson now he comes down the main straight. He's got 2 corners to negotiate. The time he has to beat, a 1 minute 35.9. Gives it plenty of revs through turns 11 and 12. Across the line, we'll be keeping an eye on the timing board. And a 134.7. He'll go to the top of the top 10 shootout. A little bit slower than his previous time he did in our sessions earlier, but nevertheless, he has gone to the top. Steve Thompson. Okay, so now we have car number 12 of Denny Traverso. And this car currently sits in 4th position in the... Well, outright at the moment, of course, in 4th position with Steve Glennie behind the wheel. And Denny Traverso is back in 8th position, looking to beat his fastest time of the weekend. Through turns 11 and 12. He's got to get a good run through here. Ooh, a little bit of understeer through 11. That'll hurt him out of 12. Runs a little bit wide now. Over the start-finish line. His time has begun. The green flag waves nice and late into turn number 1. Late apex through there. You want to pick up the throttle as early as you can. It's a little bit off camber as well, that corner, so it can trick some of the best of the drivers at times as well. Through the ever-popular turn 3, one of the fastest parts of the circuit. And on the brakes mid-corner, hits the bump, picks up the second apex nicely. And nice and wide on the brakes, starts the cleavage section. About to go around the left-hander of the gum tree, which is a lot longer than you think from where you're standing here. When you're actually out there in a car, it goes, pretty much feels forever, the gum tree corner. Down Shannon's Insurance straight. The time to beat, a 1 minute 34.7. From Steve Thompson through turn 8, you can hear those brakes squeal. That indicates to me that the temperature probably isn't up to optimum running. Through 9 and through 10 onto the main straight. And again, so far so good for Denny Traverso. We'll see this car come out later on as well in the top 10 shootout with experienced rally driver Steve Glennie behind the wheel, and here he comes through turns 11 and 12 for the last time. Denny Traverso, nice and smooth, out of the last corner, gets on the boost, hits the power button, and away he goes across the line, a 1 minute 33.4. So Denny Traverso will go to the top, and 1.3 seconds quicker than Thompson, and another 2.4 quicker than Howard. So Denny Traverso is the man to beat at the moment, second slower than his time he did in the sessions earlier on in the day. But again, we've indicated that the conditions probably aren't as good. Now we have car number 3 out on the circuit, and that's Jim 2. And we'll see what he can do in about 2.8 kilometres. Alrighty, we're waiting for him to come across the start-finish line. Time for him to beat, a 1 minute 33.4 by Denny Traverso. And in second position is Steve Thompson with a 1 minute 34.7. So here he comes across the start-finish line. Jimmy 2 through turn number 1, very, very late on the brakes indeed. If he went much later than that, he probably would have found the gravel trap. So it shows that already he's on the limit. Nice and wide through turn 2. Through the sweep at turn 3, carries a lot of speed, runs a little bit wide, gets a little bit taily. Let's hope that doesn't hurt him too bad. Then he goes through 4 and 5, very late on the brake. Trail brakes in the 5. Nice and wide around the gum tree. And he continues on his way. And Jimmy's time, fastest time of the weekend, has been a 1 minute 32.2. Nearly cracking into the 31s. down Shannon's Insurance Straight, through the left-hander, down the back straight now. He's only got 4 corners to negotiate. And it's a 33.4120 that we're looking for. Remembering that these times do count for the weekend as well, so if they beat their previous time, it will be included. Down the front straight, he'll come into the chicane, turns 11 and 12, the flip-flop section. Hard on the brakes, turns the nose in. Ooh, misses the apex a little bit. That may hurt him. Out of the last corner. And the time for Jimmy 2, a 1 minute 32.0. So Jimmy 2 now goes to the top by 1.3 seconds. And that is quicker than his original time as well. So he's picked the right moment to go out for his top 10 shootout lap. And every car that's been out in the top 10 so far has gone 1 second quicker than the counterpart, the car that goes before him. Tristan Catford, another tarmac rally driver, and his best time of the weekend, a 1 minute 31.9, which posted him as the 6th fastest time for the weekend so far. So Cadford's best time, a 1 minute 31.9. It's only 1/10 quicker than Jimmy 2's time that he did in the top 10 shootout. So he's really going to have to pull something out of the bag here if he wants to get above the car of 2. The Mitsubishi Evo 6, the Tommy Mackinnon edition. Through turns 11 and 12, out nice and wide on the throttle, beautifully smooth. Let's see how he goes. The green flag waves, you can hear the anti-turbo lag kicking in. Very, very quick through turn number 2. And that's something that we used to hearing in forests, aren't we? When the all-drive turbo cars hit to our rally stages around the country, is the loud crackling and popping of the anti-turbo lag through turn number 3. Nice and smooth, right on the limit. Hard on the brakes. Takes a very, very wide apex, very late apex in the turn number 5 through the Gumtree corner. Negotiating the cleavage section smoothly. And nice and wide. Down Shannon's Insurance Straight for the last time for his lap. Now we go through turn 8 again. You can hear the tyres scrubbing on the brakes. That's how hard he's braking. As late as absolute possible. So fastest time of the weekend for Catford, a 1 minute 31.9. And he's got to beat a 1 minute 32.0290 done by 2 to take to the top of the top 10 shootout. Here he comes, turns 11 and 12. Trail breaks in, gets the tail out a little bit, nice and smooth, nice and wide, flat out, down the front straight. And it's a 1 minute 32.7, not good enough to take to the top of the top 10 shootout. So it'll be Jimmy 2 who holds the reins at the moment. But we still have a couple of cars to try and knock him off his perch. Great drive from Tristan Catford, but it wasn't enough to take out the number 1 position in the red Mitsubishi Evo 6. Arguably one of the most well-presented cars here this weekend. Absolutely immaculate. If you get a chance to get up close to the car to have a look, then do it. It looks like it's just come off the showroom floor from Mitsubishi. It's arguably one of the best sounding cars here this weekend, and it's very hard, I guess, to tell these Evos apart by the sound because they all sound very similar, but this car just has a different note and absolutely screams. And it makes some interestingly loud backfires as well, which we've been hearing all day long and all of yesterday. Okay, here we go. Turn 11 and turn 12. He's got to get a good run out of here. Now, we're underway across the start-finish line in the turn number 1. Phil Heafy. This is where things nearly went wrong in the warm-up lap, but negotiates that fine through turn number 2. Of course, if you listen to this car carefully, you can hear the 6-speed Hollinger gearbox. It's a high compression, high boost motor. It's got the Rally Art diffs. He usually uses this car, of course, for hill climbing, so it's a little bit new to be taking to the circuit in this vehicle. Is Phil Heafy, but he's been doing a fantastic job all weekend, hasn't stuck a foot wrong. It's actually road registered, this car. That'll be a pretty cool car to take to the shops, wouldn't it? And he reckons that the only thing standard on the drivetrain of this vehicle is the transfer case, so you can see that it's had a lot of modifications done to the driveline. And he's ran a little bit wide there. That will hurt Heafy's time, I would imagine. It took him about 0.2 of a second to get on the throttle, so he's going to lose some time from that one. But he may still push ahead of Jimmy 2. And he's got to beat a 1 minute 32.0 down the start finish line, past the main pit area, and now we go through turn 11 and turn 12 again. He's picked up the ripple strip. Gee whiz, that nearly threw him wide into that Marshall post, but here he comes across the line. Oh no, 1 minute 32.1310, so he's 0.1 of a second slower than Jimmy 2, and that will also push Tristan Catford back to 3rd position, and Denny Traverso in 4th. And in 5th place there we have Steve Thompson and Peter Howard rounding out the top 6. And Steve Glennie, probably the most experienced man here on the circuit this weekend. He is a tarmac rally driver and has competed in different years in the Australian Rally Championship as well, getting some pretty high results, winning a couple of rallies. So he's no slouch behind the wheel of a motor car, and especially behind the wheel of a Mitsubishi Evolution 9. So here he comes, Steve Glennie, the Mitsubishi Evo 9, the experienced Australian rally driver. Across the start finish line he goes into turn 1. Green flag waves, trail breaks it into 1. He certainly knows how to throw around the car. Does Steve Glennie in the turn 2, runs over that ripple strip there by the looks of that. In the turn number 3, this is one of the most important corners on the circuit. You get this wrong and your lap will be completely dashed. But he doesn't, he nails it spot on. Takes a little bit of an earlier apex through the first part of the cleavage section. It's a little bit of a different line to what we've seen from our other competitors. Whether it will help him out or not will be seen. Now here he comes down the Shannon's Insurance Straight. Steve Glennie in the 2-right automotive Mitsubishi Evo 9 in the turn 8. Picks up the throttle nicely. Runs a little bit wide, picks the dirt up. But I'm sure that won't hurt him too badly because he's already on the throttle. Can hear those tyres squealing, which indicates to me that he is right on the limit. Down past our main pit area here at Winton Raceway. The EvolutionOz.net Evo Nats in the turn 11 and 12 for the last time. The time to beat, a 1 minute 32.0 from Jimmy 2. Across the start finish line he comes, and it's a 1 minute 31.5. That will put him into a podium position, and he is in the big number 1 spot at the moment with only one car to beat him. Great drive from Steve Glennie. We knew it was coming. But 4.7 of a second ahead of Jimmy 2, which we thought was a perfect lap. But you can only do so much with the car that you have underneath you. Steve Glennie uses every opportunity for that. So it's Paul Singh behind the wheel of Grips. Another very fast car built for time attack type style events, which is exactly what we're under right now in the top 10 shootout. So the Evo 8 comes down the main part of the circuit. The 2.2 litre stroked motor built by JHH in Queensland. Well, the same people who also built Nemo, the car that's usually in the top 3, top 5 of World Time Attack. So across the line he comes, the main straight, and he'll come through turns 11 and 12. Very important to get this lap right if he wants to go to the top. Oh, a little bit late on the throttle there. Across the start finish line, green flag waves for Paul Singh. And that car at the moment singing like a bird. At the end of turn 3. Jeez, have a listen to that thing roar, the 2.2 litre stroker. Ooh, nice and grippy, slick tyres on that car. Actually Hankook's. Another one of our sponsors here this weekend. Through the Gumtree corner. It's the last car that'll run the top 10 shootout. He's got to beat a 1 minute 31.5 by Steve Glennie. Jimmy 2 currently in second, and Phil Heafy is in a podium position at the moment in third place. Down the Shannon's Insurance straight into turn number 8. Hard on the brakes. He wants to get on the throttle as hell as he can. He's ran a little bit wide. That could cost him a couple of tenths of a second. Exactly what we didn't want to see from Paul Singh. Turn number 9, and he'll disappear through turn number 10 very briefly as he comes past our main pit area here at Winton Raceway. 3 kilometre the journey for Paul Singh for his last lap in the shootout. And through the last 2 corners, this is it. It's all or nothing for Paul Singh. Turns 11 and 12, nice and wide. Oh, a bit late on the throttle, but can he do it? Yes, he can. A 1 minute 29.3660. And he is the winner of our top 10 shootout. The EvolutionOz.net Evo Nationals, proudly presented by Motorsport Tyres Victoria. Paul Singh has done it. When we thought that Steve Glennie had it in the bag, 2.1 seconds quicker than anyone else on the circuit. Fantastic stuff for Paul Singh, and he'll be very, very happy to take the silverware at the end of this one. In second position was Steve Glennie, in third, Jim 2, who held the number 1 spot for a while, but unfortunately was pipped with the last 2 competitors. Phil Heafy in fourth position. Tristan Catford will finish the top 10 in fifth. Denny Traverso in 6th place. Then we have Steve Thompson in 7th and Peter Howard in 8th place, 6.5 seconds before. It's actually Peter Delladover. Apologies to Peter. I'll owe you a beer tonight for that one. Well, that's the end of the top 10 shootout. Stick around though, guys, because we still have plenty of action here at the Evo Nationals. And we'll be the last running at Winton for the weekend. We'll head to the skid pan tomorrow, and we'll give you some more information on that later on this afternoon. So here he is, the man who's finished third outright in the top 10 shootout for EvolutionOz.net Evo Nationals. Jim 2, you must be very, very pleased with your performance.
Oh yes, I'm very happy with the performance. Earlier in the day, the car wasn't doing well, but I managed to hook up a good lap for the top 10 shootout, so I'm pretty happy with this. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to my sponsors, or to everyone who would make this Oz Evolution event successful. OTR guys helped me quite a bit, get my car ready and make this event possible. And RTR, Ref Zones, Hankooks, few of the big sponsors, just to name a few. So thanks for making this event possible.
So you actually went quicker in the top 10 shootout than what you've done in the last day and a half. It must have been a cracker of a lap.
Yes, I did some change to the suspension setup. Earlier in the day, it was just the suspension was too hard. I can't get much grip. It was just sliding around, so I decided to just make turn the suspension down to softest, and it seems like it's starting to grip. It's a bit unstable, a bit wobbly, but at least it's gripping. So I end up coming third. So we're pretty happy with that.
Well done, congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow at the skid pan.
All right, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Okay, with the man that finished second in the top 10 shootout, we thought you had it there, but just got pipped at the end, but a fantastic lap, Steve Glennie.
Yeah, thank you. Look, it's been a great day, great weekend out here at the Evo Nats. Pretty good result for a little tarmac rally car up against these tarmac beasts, but and a good result for Chase's Motorworks getting the 1-2.
Yeah, definitely, and it's great to see Denny Traverso letting you use his car here this weekend. And what's your thought of the Evo Nationals?
Yeah, look, it's been a bit of a project, Danny and I, with this car over the last few years, done some tarmac rally. I've helped him set it up and and done a bit of driver training and things, which and both he and the car have progressed a long way, and he's driving very smooth and doing some really good times now. And yeah, look, fantastic event. Winton, great little racetrack, and looking forward to some skid pan fun tomorrow as well.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for coming along, and we'll see you tomorrow, and have a good night.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
Cheers. So here we are, the winners of the 2014 Top 10 Shootout, the Chasers Motorworks boys. Paul Singh and the guys, you must be really pleased with the effort this weekend.
Yes, I am. Definitely I am, and really proud of the Chasers boys, what they have done for me and given me a really good car. And that's all that actually has made it happen for us today, yes.
It was a great lap from Jimmy too, and then Steve Glennie. We thought Glennie might have had it, but you pipped him by 2 seconds right on the line. It must have been a great lap.
It was a good lap. I think we could have done better if we had one more. But anyways, yeah, I think it was a good lap from. Yeah, I think so. Don't have much to say.
All right, so there you have it from the Chasers Motorworks guys, and I'm sure that there'll be celebrations long into the night.